One in 4 Californians live in a high-risk wildfire area. Is the state ready? Los Angeles and Big Bear Lake, officials worry about an explosive wildfire roaring through the resort city, trapping tens of thousands of people. In the Santa Monica Mountains, authorities stage a mock evacuation in Mandeville Canyon, where police discover they are too slow to rescue residents from a wildfire disaster. And in the thick forest of the San Jacinto Mountains, an Idlewild resident laments that his town resembles an arsonist's dream. On the heels of the deadliest and most destructive wildfire season in state history, officials across California are growing increasingly anxious over what many fear will be another one. Fire experts and climatologists warn that the heavy rains of recent months produced an excess of vegetation, which over the hot summer will become dry fuel. At the same time, in a meeting with emergency managers recently, Government Gavin Newsom urged, "We just can't take this anymore," Newsom told the gathering. The state can't take. After the Camp Fire killed 85 people in and around the town of Paradise, UN revealed glaring shortcomings in municipal evacuation plans. The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection conducted a risk assessment that found an estimated 11 million residents, or 1 in 4 Californians, live in areas considered to be at high risk of a wildfire. "I anticipate there's a whole lot of people in suburban Southern California, and frankly in the Bay Area, that would never consider themselves a part of that 1 out of 4 Californians that live in a fire risk area, but they actually do," said Wade Crowfoot, head of the California Natural Resources Agency. When it comes to the risk of forest fire in Southern California, Richard Minnick, a fire ecologist at the University of California, Riverside, said he is most concerned about communities that haven't burned since the 19th century, Big Bear Lake and Lake Arrowhead in the eastern San Bernardino Mountains, and the isolated, mile-high community of Idlewild. These areas, he said, have hundreds of trees per acre with trunks more than 4 inches in diameter and an understory of young conifers and brush. By way of comparison, in the event of a fire, the heavy understory would create what foresters call a fuel ladder that would send flames up into the canopy, triggering a massive blaze. In Idlewild, authorities have been sounding the alarm for years about the buildup of tinder-dry trees and brush. "My town still resembles an arsonist's dream," resident Mark Yardis said. For all the urgency local and state officials are bringing into fire preparations this year, their methods for reducing the risks are nothing new. Near highways, we'll probably do a combination of handwork and machine work, bulldozers, masticators, things like that, said John Melvin, CAL FIRE's chief for resource protection and improvement. It's tried and true. Indeed, the National Guard troops that President Donald Trump requested for border duty, and that Newsom recalled, are now working on fire breaks, Melvin said. But a growing chorus of environmental advocates and some former fire officials is urging the state to shift its wildfire strategy to one that starts from the home outward. That means using the state's current strategy, which relies primarily on altering forest land, is costly financially and environmentally, they argue. It also has failed. Studies show that the principal cause of residential destruction is not the result of high-intensity wildfire engulfing homes, said Big Bear Lake resident and ecologist Chad Hansen. Instead, during a recent walk down a shady lane in Sugarloaf, a densely populated neighborhood whose streets are arranged in a grid pattern, Hansen gestured toward a clutch of homes. Everywhere you look, there are piles of dry pine needles on deteriorating shake shingle roofs and thick brush growing against walls made of wooden planks, Hansen said. I understand the comfort in people's voices when they say the Forest Service plans to thin the forests around here. So, less than a block away, Amanda Mayer, 38, was striding beneath the branches of a 30-foot-tall oak tree draped over the veranda and roof of a wood-sided Victorian-style home she shares with her family. Everybody knows this tree is too close to the house, she said. But this is a pretty. On a recent rainy Sunday in Mandeville Canyon, Los Angeles police officers moved from house to house as part of an elaborate evacuation drill. As part of a scripted scenario, officers told residents that a fire had broken out nearby, amid 25 to 35 mph winds with gusts up to 40 mph. Residents had to, but as officers made their way up the canyon, the fire prevented them from reaching residents to the north. As a result, among those residents who attended the drill was Maureen Levinson. Although she lives in Bel Air, she said she felt compelled to attend the event after watching images of the Woolsey fire, which ripped through Ventura and Los Angeles counties and devastated Malibu. She and her neighbors were heartbroken when they watched video of homes burning but saw no fire trucks nearby. The lesson was clear, she said. If we're in a fire, at some point they're going to give up on us, Levinson said. In the heart of the San Bernardino Mountains, where the suburbs meet the wilderness, many have built homes amid forest and brush, despite the wildfire risk. Big Bear Lake Fire Chief Jeffrey Willis knows the danger that comes with the high-velocity, dry Santa Ana winds that blow out of the desert each fall and transform the city's 100-foot tall Jeffrey pines into fuel. You can plan all you want, but a plan is only good until something doesn't fit, Willis said. Then you have to plan. Lake Arrowhead, which is home to 12,000 permanent residents, has not burned since 1879. Yet, each time, Jason Brooks, a San Bernardino County Fire Department engineer, was only half kidding when he said, if every property owner in Lake Arrowhead created defensible space around their homes, there'd be no trees left to look at. In this high-altitude, high-fire risk area, a revised evacuation plan funded by the county calls for releasing vehicles in a series of periodic segments, or tiers, with only people in the most threatened areas leaving first at a desired speed of 25 mph. That's because, according to the Mountain Region Emergency Road Capacity Study, if the entire community of Big Bear Lake, for example, were to be evacuated in one instance, the roads would be overloaded and traffic would not process. There is potential for catastrophic losses, the study warns, as thousands of people move into the mountaintop communities. Copyright 2019 Los Angeles Times. Visit the Los Angeles Times at distributed by. Search for location/city.
Raindrop, truck top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.